Mean Girls 2024 is the brand new film from Paramount that just released about a week ago. Once again, back from the original movie to write the script is Tina Fey, this movie is based both off of the original film, which took place in 2004, as well as the Broadway stage musical, because this movie is a full-on musical. The film stars Angourie Rice in the leading role as Katie Heron, someone who moves to this new place from Kenya to this new school, and she's looking to find what clique can she find, and she runs into the queen of the school, Regina George, who's played by Renee Rapp. Along the way, Katie makes other friends, including Janice, played by Oli Cravalho, and Damien, played by Jokel Spivey. Hopefully I'm saying all these people's names right. As well as Regina's friends, who are also a part of her clique, Avantika, who plays Karen Shetty, and Bebe Wood, who plays Gretchen Winners. Also, Chrissy Briney plays Erin in the movie, who is a love interest of both Regina and Katie. In very minor supporting roles, you have Jenna Fisher as Katie's mom. You have Busy Phillips as Regina's mom. And then as teachers at the school, you have Tina Fey, Tim Meadows, Ashley Park, and John Hamm. The film is 1 hour and 52 minutes and is PG-13. Welcome back to a brand new movie review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Dinenberg. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. I talk movies, box office, TV shows, and I do out-of-theater reactions, but I did for this movie in the freezing cold weather of Philadelphia. So please check that one out as well. Subscribe and ring the bell for notifications as well. Comment down below. Where does this rank for you? Have you seen the stage play and the movie and this one? Rank them. Did you think this is better than the original, worse than the original? Do you want to see more out of this franchise than just this original take? Let me know in the comment section. Also, please like the video, guys. The thumbs up button. That is how you support this channel. So I was not one of these people who, even though Mean Girls was definitely of my generation, the movie came out when I was 2 years old. And if you grow up in the early 2000s, it is for my generation, a classic. And it's one that I enjoy watching, Mean Girls, but it's not a movie that I want to rewatch a lot. I've seen it around 2 or 3 times. There are elements of the original that I completely understand. Again, that movie from its time, but still really gave Rachel McAdams a huge breakout, charismatic role. A lot of famous people are in that movie. And I know a lot of people from my demographic here being in college just adore the movie. So I don't have those expectations. I like musicals. I know a lot of people, this movie itself has been getting a lot of flack for being a musical, but I enjoy musicals. So you're not going to deter me. I'm just judging the film on the film itself. So let's get my thoughts on 2024's version of Mean Girls. And overall, I really did have a decent time with this movie. The beginning of the movie really made me nervous. I did not like the opening to the movie. And while some of the singing was good, I don't want to spoil what happens in the opening of the movie, but it made me very nervous. And I think as the movie goes on, for the most part, you do find yourself connecting to this cast. The cast itself has genuinely great chemistry. Most of the performers have really good singing voices and can perform the songs very well. I think from a not an acting perspective, I think the movie is very well directed. It's co-directed by Samantha Jane and Arturo Perez Jr., who don't have any major credits outside of this movie. And they did an excellent job infusing that kind of now high school energy of the today. I think that's why you can kind of do this movie in different generations, because this movie heavily tackles social media. And of course, in 2004, that was not a thing, but now 20 years later, it's a major part of society, especially in kids. And it makes sense. I think Jane and Perez Jr. do an excellent job bringing that energy with a lot of colors, with the camera very close to the actors' faces when they're showing emotion. It's a energetic film. I think that's brought out not by the songs, but in my opinion, by the filmmaking on display. And they had a tough job because this movie really could have been bad. It's a remake of a movie that is very beloved by a lot of people, had a very much an all-star cast 20 years ago. It's a musical, and it is during an age where we're in social media. There's a lot that could have gone wrong with this movie, and I can commend it for not being a bad movie, because I don't think Mean Girls is a bad movie. Mean Girls 2024 is not a bad movie. Now let's go to the actors. I think by far and away, there's kind of like two standouts for me. The first is Renee Rapp, who I just know is like a singer. She's been in things. I think this might be her first role. I'm not sure. She plays Regina in the movie, and she is fantastic. She easily probably has some of the only amounts of charisma out of this entire cast. And Rapp is fabulous in the movie. She is one of the best singers of the entire movie, but the movie has so much more interest and excitement when her character is on screen. And obviously, Regina was the big standout, as I said, of the 2004 film, because that was obviously Rachel McAdams, who's one of my favorite actresses of the last 20 years. And that's a tough act to follow. And I think while she does not reach the heights of McAdams in that original film, she does the best job that anyone could do, I think, in this role, in this version of Mean Girls. And Rapp is fantastic. The other major standout that I do want to say is Oli Cravalho. Hopefully, I'm saying her name. I'm probably botching her name. She's just been known as the voice of Moana, and she's not moving from animation to live action like The Rock is. And I watched a Netflix movie with her a couple years ago. I think I reviewed it on the channel called All Together Now. Loved that movie and loved her performance. And she is fantastic in the movie as well. She's probably the best singer of the entire movie. She is one of the more relatable characters of the entire film. And I really enjoy her presence on screen. And I don't think that she just has to be in musicals. Obviously, she's a great singer. I think a lot of studios are going to want her from a singing perspective in musicals for years to come. But she's a really good, both serious, comedic actress. She's one of the actresses I would love to see pop up in a lot more things. She just isn't getting booked for a lot of stuff, sadly. And hopefully people recognize her in this movie. She plays Janice in the film, and she is fantastic. The adults' characters are not that interesting. John Hamm was just collecting a paycheck in this movie. You get the return of Tina Fey and Tim Meadows in their roles from the original film. So there's some fun from there, but overall, those are the two standouts for me of the movie. I'll say the songs themselves were not great. There's not that one song that just pops out of my mind from the movie. But they weren't bad songs. I think the problem with the songs is that I felt there were times where the movie could just let the characters show emotion. And when they did, they kind of stopped themselves in a dramatic scene and popped up a song to explain to us what their emotions are in the scene. I think they did that 2 or 3 times, and I didn't feel like it was totally necessary. The biggest problem with the movie for me is just the main character. I enjoyed Lindsay Lohan in the original film. Again, not the most memorable part of that movie. And while Katie, once again, is not the most memorable part of the movie, and I enjoy Angourie Reich. Obviously, she's known for those 2 Spider-Man films, but I also really enjoyed her as well in The Nice Guys, one of my favorite comedies of the last 10, 15 years. And she's good in this movie. She's not great. And I just felt very distant to Katie as a character throughout this entire movie, because she turns from innocence in the first 10 minutes of the movie, and then she completely changes her character herself very quickly. Things change from her character mindset so fast in this movie. It just feels out of the blue when she makes huge character decisions and character switches. That's from a writing perspective. I think the problem for her performance is just she's nowhere near as charismatic as Rapp in the movie. And Regina is so much more interesting than Katie in the movie, even though Regina's playing a ultra villain and Katie's playing a good person who's kind of becoming a villain who's trying to realize where she fits. I just found Rapp to be so much more interesting and, of course, a lot more charismatic. Obviously, it comes with the writing, but it comes with the performance. And I just didn't enjoy Katie as the lead character. I think that's kind of the missing piece of this movie was Katie be written as a more interesting lead character. There's a dynamic with her and her mom play like Jenna Fisher that is just so unnecessary and doesn't add anything to the movie whatsoever. And I think they could have delved a little bit more into that. But obviously, the more showy character that everyone loves is Regina, and the movie needs Regina in the movie to have any energy to it. I feel like if they could have written a more energetic lead character, we wouldn't have to have that problem. As I said, the movie is okay. I think from a message standpoint, the movie has very good messages, and I'm all for all of these messages the movie is going for. The biggest problem with the messages in this movie is that they're told to you, they're not implied. There's literally a point in the movie where characters are telling you what the movie is trying to get over for a message. And I don't like being told how we're supposed to, what the message of the movie is. I am not, audiences shouldn't be treated like they're stupid. I do feel like in this movie, they have great messages, and you feel like the movie is doing a good job of implying it, and the characters have to stop, look at the camera, and tell you what the message of the movie is. I feel like from a writing perspective, from Tina Fey's perspective, they just needed to let the message be implied instead of just told to you in your face by the characters breaking the fourth wall. That is another problem. So overall, I enjoyed Mean Girls 2024. It is definitely not going to be one of the worst. I actually did enjoy this a lot more than I expected, but I will probably always go back to watch the original if I choose this over the other. So overall, I am going to give Mean Girls 2024 a 3 out of 5 stars, 64% for this new iteration of this kind of franchise. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll check you out soon.